Hey everybody, welcome to the infinite regression. Oh my god, how did you end up here? I don't know what you did in a past life, or this life, or your future life, whatever it was. Oh boy. Anyway, hey, but don't worry, it's not as bad as it looks. We've got video games. Oh, we got video games. And today we got a good one. We've got The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. This is a video game that came out in 2013, May of 2013. It's by Neocore Games. They also make the King Arthur games, which I've seen but haven't played, and some other. They seem to be really good at the action RPG types, which is what this is, which is what The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to say Van Helsing because everybody does. See, the Incredible Adventures part is very small. Now, I know for a fact that I picked up this game on the Steam sale because it seems to always go on sale on the Steam sale. And look, if you have seen this type of game before, you're probably looking at this and saying, I think I know what this is. And you would be right. You would be exactly right. If you have played, for example, the Diablo games, then yes, indeed. You have seen its like before. If you have played the Dungeon Siege, which was, Microsoft's answer to Diablo, then you have seen this kind of boy before. Now, it's funny because when you're playing the old school RPGs, like the real difference, I mean, what Diablo really changed was the pace with which RPGs moved, because they used to be seriously like trying to replicate what it was like to play an old session of D&D with your friends in your friend's mom's basement. That used to be the way. And then Diablo was like, hey, what if we like just freaking did all that, like had all of the leveling systems. Like Van Helsing has a literal character sheet. You know what I'm saying? Like it calls it a character sheet. It knows where its roots are from. But like so many RPGs back in the day were like, the reason that they didn't catch on for a long time in the United States is because they were tedious. Because it was like tedious stat tracking over long periods of time. That's why like D&D back in the day was like, are you a math nerd with a graphing calculator and a mechanical pencil and lots of graph paper? Would you like to put that kind of crap to use? And then you're off stat tracking and drawing out blocky dungeons on graph paper. Anyway, people, yeah, we've come a long way, baby. And The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, I told you I was just going to say Van Helsing. But yes, Van Helsing is one of these games with a clear lineage. You look at it and you're like, okay, has the isometric business. So like your Baldur's Gateses, your Neverwinter's Nightses, games like that. That's where we get the ISO view, Also, I mean, that's where Diablo got the ISO view. I mean, let's not pretend like they invented it. And then the whole action-y business, that's post-Diablo RPGing. So it comes from a sweet spot. Like, honestly, I, like many Americans, started actually RPGing in this generation of RPGs. So this would be like a late example of the generation of RPGing that I sort of cut my teeth on in my early days. So, yeah. The thing about it is that you can tell that this is quality. It feels quality, it is quality. It's just good stuff. Like when you've played games like this that work well, um, there's yeah, you just sort of know what you're getting, right? I mean, like the Torchlight games, for instance. Torchlight is excellent. Torchlight 2, excellent. Torchlight 3, I haven't played yet because people say it's not excellent. Yeah, combo breaker. Anyway, I'll play it at some point because it'll come up on the spinning wheel. So, here's the thing, people, is that, yeah, this bad boy is quality and it does some things differently. Now, I will admit the inventory system is a little jank-ma-jank. I am playing with a controller. I'm sure it would probably be a little bort lazier with a keyboard and mouse. Probably. I should have gone that route. Didn't, because as soon as the game came up, it was like, hey, your controller's connected. And I was like, okay, we'll play it with controller then. Anyway, but yeah. So what are the things that you need to know about this little special monkey and what it brings to the table? It is fully voice acted and voice acted pretty well. You know, Diablo back in the day. Oh my God. Stay a while and listen. You know, like, come on. We know what it is. Like, yeah, you gotta love the voice acting. This is like not quite as cheesy as some of the Diablo era, but it's there's a little veneer of cheese on it, which like I personally enjoy. So, not a knock. That is actually a positive. Enjoy it. So here's the other thing: is that you have a permanent companion with you. She is a ghost, but she's also a noble, and everyone in the world of this game is like, oh yeah, ghosts are totally real, and they just wander around. And because she's a dead noble, she can get you in places and stuff, and like has cachet in the world because they're like, it's not just, hey, you're like an attractive dead girl. It's like, no, you are royalty, nobility, and we bow the knee and bid you welcome, dead person who can just zip through these walls if you wanted to. But the funny thing is that like she takes damage. You know, you gotta like up her stats. You gotta take care of her. You gotta give her potions, because potions totally work on her, because that's the thing. You know how ghosts drink potions all the time. Anyway, but yeah. So that's a little bit of an interesting thing. Also, the fact that you are constantly going to be switching between your ranged and your melee weapons. That's kind of a fun thing, because some of those early action RPGs, little a little bit tough on the weapon switching. You know what I'm saying? They weren't built as well for like multiple different modes of combat. And like having multiple different modes of combat makes it interesting, so that you really have to balance the way that you approach the game. You know, you might be overmatched, you might need to run away, and when you've got some distance, you might want to pull out your pistols and start shooting, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it does make for some interesting strategy. It does make for some interesting gameplay, just being able to switch seamlessly and flawlessly between melee and range, just schniggity schnack, super easy. So I really enjoy that. And, you know, it also, like, I will say the leveling system is a little convoluted. Like, it's not as intuitive as some of the things that came after this game, you know. That's just evolution, my friends. And, you know, we all learn together. We all learn together eventually. But yeah, because it was, you know, figuring out a really good, like, we all take for advantage the fact that, like, Skyrim was like okay, here's how we're going to do our leveling system. Our skill trees will be actually skill treed out, but they'll be big and scrollable, and you can really like figure them out and see what it's going to be before you choose an upgrade on something. Yeah, the thing about the Van Helsing skill trees and leveling systems and whatnot is that they are not as informative as you'd like, and they're not as intuitive as you'd like. So that is a little bit of a, you start to get a sense for like, okay, I think I know that I'm leveling my stats properly, but it's still a little bit of just, try and see what sticks, But yeah, the level design is really interesting. You've got your standard action RPG fog on the map, and finding your way around, and the ability to toggle and lose the mini map that you are walking around in. That is very handy. I love that. That's actually one of my favorite things from Torchlight, which does that so well, so very well. There's also that other game. What's that other game? Come on, brain. I'm going to look this up in the background. You'll hardly notice that it's happening. But yeah, there's another game that I played that was so good. Not Apotheon, although that game is Asura Vengeance Edition. Yeah, that's another really good, if you're like, I need action RPGs. Asura, that's one that I've already reviewed here on this channel. Another really good one that does a lot of these things really well. But like Van Helsing is kind of the grandpappy of the Torchlights, and well, it's the pappy, because Diablo is the grandpappy. So this is the pappy, and so yeah, is it as advanced as the children? No, that it never is. And so, yeah, it's not going to be 100% as seamless a gameplay experience as you would hope, but it is wicked fun. It is a good time. And, oh my God, loot galore. It is so looty. If you saw the episode of Adventure Time with the loot train and you were like, son of a gun, I'd like to get me on that loot train. If you thought to yourself, like, Loot Train, that'd make an excellent game, I would 100% play that. Which I totally would. Secret Time. Totally would. Sorry, totally ripping people off here. Secret Time, I did not come up with Secret Time. It's Bert Kreischer, and he is amazing and hilarious. All credit to him. Sorry and apologies for ripping you off, my friend. He's not my friend. I mean, I would like to be his friend. He doesn't know me. Jeez, come on. Stick to the point, people. People know me. Me, guy talking. Stick to the point. Hey, did you know that although I'm getting the footage beforehand, I'm still just 100% winging it into this microphone? Because I feel like some of the charm of this channel, such that it is, I feel like it's the amateurishness. I'm not a professional. Like, it's one of the funniest things about YouTube is that it is comprised of like weekend warriors and people in their off time and their IT job, who are just like cranking out content, and so many of them are like, they work so hard, like so many man hours are spent on looking professional, and there's me talking about looking professional in the middle of a game review when I should be talking about the game. You're right, let's get back to it. My God. So yeah, Van Helsing, what a good time. For real skis. I really enjoyed this game. I knew I would. I bought it with, like, this goes on Steam sale every time there's an even remotely saley sale. So like not just your summer and winter sales, but probably your fall and spring as well, and your random like, Chinese New Year sale or whatever else they're running. They run those weird in-betweeny ones. So yeah, whenever things go on sale, just check, and you might be able to pick this up for like $5, and it is currently 15 on Steam. I mean, it's 14.99, and it is 5ish when it goes on sale, and it is like for 15, it's like get Torchlight first, right? But at 5, it's like no, get it, but like get it though. If you're into this type of game, if you play your action RPGs, which I most certainly do, and love them, absolutely love them. Oh, yeah. It's funny. While I'm recording this overdub, I'm watching gameplay footage from the Steam page, and here's what's funny. My entire life, I have wished to play an action RPG in which I do not encounter giant spiders. And I swear to you, I was trying not to jinx this one by mentioning it. And then in the gameplay on the Steam store page, giant spiders. I was like, oh, son of a... but yeah, regardless. Oh, here's the other thing about Van Helsing is that there are other Van Helsing games as well, and they often go on sale with Van Helsing, and you can buy them in a big old bundle and save even more money, and that also tends to go on sale very frequently. So yeah, that is absolutely a thing. Anyway, ladies and gents, Van Helsing, highly recommended. Let me put a final score on it, and then we'll bring this thing home. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, literally no time has passed, none whatsoever, between me starting this recording and me finishing this recording, none whatsoever. And so, yeah, and at no point did I go full Bay City Rollers. And just SATURDAY. We got it done. Anyway, hey, yeah, I was going to tell you the final score for this game, which is a 9 out of 10 Diablo sprites. And, the only thing keeping it from a full 10 is like just some... everyone figuring it out jankiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of its point in the evolution of this type of game, like you give it reverence for what it did in the time. I mean, this is like almost 10 years ago. And so, yeah, we've come a long way since then. We really have. And, in our action RPG-ishness. And I really think that this still holds up super well, even though it is getting a little bit long in the tooth, like the slightest bit long in the tooth. I mean, granted, I thought it was even longer in the tooth when I first started playing it because the resolution that it chose to play at was obnoxiously low. Anyway, but we got that sorted. I was like, I'm playing an 800 by 600. I should at least be playing at like 1900 by 1080. Come on. Oh, sorry. I did not mean to cough into the microphone, people. Throat's a little dry. Please forgive. Anyway, people, so, yeah, we're giving it 9 out of 10 Diablo sprites because, this is obviously the child of the Diablo type games. That is the forerunner. This is, the middle of that evolutionary path, and then it's gone on since then. But, like, all credit due to like what this game has been, and like, you know, honestly, it's a really, really solid and really well regarded entry in the annals uh, of the action RPG genre. So like, yeah, I would find it surprising if you started watching this review knowing what this game was before you went into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the status. So, yeah. Anyway, ladies and gents, this game is totally worth it. Really enjoy it. And I have the sequel, and I have one other game in the franchise. So, um, yeah. And now there's a 3. Or maybe there was a 3 and I just didn't buy it when I bought the other 2. Anyway, regardless, we'll get it because these Van Helsing seem super much fun. Anyway, people, that'll do it for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.